I lost 5.5 stone in weight over the course of about a year and a half through calorie counting and walking for exercise. I didn't share my journey at the time, and I'm a bit gutted on it now actually, and I think the reason I did the share is because I'd tried like multiple times in the past to lose weight and it had never ever worked. So I thought, I'm not going to document it because then I'll look silly if I didn't actually end up losing weight in the end. But this time round it worked for me, and now I actually share. I'm in my maintenance journey and I do share a bit around what I did to lose weight and like what I'm doing now to maintain my weight. So get asked all the time, what did I do to lose 5.5 stone? I'm going to share it and explain in this video. But let's start off first, I think, of why I feel like me losing weight didn't work in the past. And I tell you what it was, is because I was restricting myself far too much. I've always done calorie counting for weight loss. I'm a firm believer that if you eat less calories than your body needs each day, you'll lose weight. And if you eat more calories than your body needs each day, then you're going to gain weight. So I've always followed the kind of calorie counting principles, and they say that you need to roughly be in a calorie deficit of around 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound of fat. So that seems like a lot. That's 500 calories per day over the course of a week to lose 1 pound a week. So a lot of people try and aim for 2 pounds a week or want more than that. That's a massive calorie deficit, and definitely that was my downfall in the past, was just trying to do things far too quickly. Even a deficit of 500 calories a day is huge, but I was always of the mindset of, if I just diet really quickly, if I drop my calories really low, I'll lose weight so quickly, I'll be slim and that'll be it, everything will be solved. And so I cut my calories really low and was starving. Could never ever stick to a diet. I hate that word. Never ever could stick to it. I'd be great for like a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, then I'd be starving. I would feel faint. And by the time it got to the weekend, because you would always start again on a Monday, remember, by the time it got to the weekend, I would just binge on absolutely everything and I would go way over my calories. So I'd restricted myself all week and then gorged at the weekend, and it was just like an endless vicious cycle, and I think like a lot of people can probably relate to that as well. And I turned 44 this year. I had my second child when I was 41. I was the heaviest I'd ever been, and I think something in my head just clicked at that point, and I realised I can't lose weight quickly anymore, because it wasn't just half a stone anymore. It wasn't just a stone I had to lose anymore. It was 5 stone. I ended up losing 5.5 stone. And I thought, that's not going to be quick. Whatever I do, that's not going to come off quickly. So kind of changed my mindset around restricting food. And I'd always told myself in the past that you had to eat healthy food. You had to eat salads to lose weight. If you had any treats, those were bad food, and there was good food to lose weight. And I had to do quite a lot of like reprogramming my mind. And for me personally, when I tell myself I can't have something is when I want it more. So I made a change. It didn't happen overnight. I think I realised this kind of quite gradually. I realised that I couldn't do as big a calorie deficit anymore. And I thought, do you know what, the time's going to pass anyway. I may as well just try and do this slowly. I may as well just try and enjoy food, try not to be hungry, and move more as well. Again, in the past, I kind of over-exercised. I would always go to like the high intensity classes at the gym and do far too much, and my body would be exhausted. And I never enjoyed them either. It was always like a chore to go to the gym. I never ever wanted to go and do that. So, as I am today, I decided just to start walking, because I really love walking. Started just with like 20 minutes a day and gradually built up from there, and did myself a small calorie deficit. So I think I aimed for to only lose like 1/4 to half a pound a week, something like that. Now I get loads of questions around the number of calories that I eat every day, but I make it a conscious decision not to share that. The reason being is not everybody will need to eat the same amount of calories each day. It all depends on things like your height, your weight, your age, how active you are. Everybody will have different numbers. So what I always say to people, if you want to start doing like calorie counting and work at a calorie deficit, you can use an app maybe like MyFitnessPal. You can put all your information into that and it will actually tell you how many calories you should eat every day to maintain your weight, lose weight, gain weight even as well. And MyFitnessPal is the one that I use. I just use the free version of it as well. It's a really great app for like tracking all of your food as well. So you need to be really strict when you're trying to lose weight of counting every single thing that goes in your mouth. And that includes things like drinks. Like you've no idea how many calories is in like a cup of tea, especially if you put sugar in that cup of tea. Everything needs tracked. And I think if you've never done it before, it'll be a complete eye-opener to you just how many calories you do consume in a day, because a lot of people think they're eating healthy by having, let's say for example, a chicken Caesar salad. That is so high in calories with that sauce on it, it's unbelievable. But you tell yourself, well, it's a salad, so it must be healthy. So it kind of like helped me re-educate myself around food. Now, didn't get me wrong, I eat everything in moderation as long as it fits in my calories, but I do try and make like healthier choices. The only reason for that is I do try and focus on my protein to like keep my like muscle mass, like keep my body strong and lean as well. Protein is quite low calorie and keeps you full for longer as well, which is good. I try and get like fruits and vegetables, like, you know, like your vitamins and stuff. I make sure I drink my water as well, because keeping my body hydrated makes me feel better and stops me from feeling so hungry as well. So I do try and get good stuff in for food wise, but nothing is forbidden. I do not see any foods that I never tell myself I can't have anything. As long as it fits in with my calories, I'll have it. So it was a slow and steady kind of weight loss. Took me about 1.5 years. I've been maintaining my weight now for, I think, coming up for a year actually. So I feel like I've got quite a good balance. So calorie deficit with my food, small calorie deficit with my food is what I did, and then walking for exercise, because walking burns calories as well. So as well as cutting down on food calories, you can increase what your body burns through exercise as well. And a lot of people overestimate the calories that they burn through exercise as well. But like I say, I didn't like the gym or anything like that. I wanted something I would definitely stick to, and walking for me was the best. So I started, like I say, just maybe 20 minutes at a time, gradually built that up. Over time, I would wear a step counter, and my minimum steps there was about 10,000. But I knew if I wanted to kind of up the weight loss, it needed to be more than that. And so while I was kind of trying to lose weight, I really did try and aim for more like 15,000 steps a day. Personally, that's what seemed to work really well for me. But I think with everything, it's like trial and error, and you need to figure out what works for your own body. And now my minimum walk really is probably like an hour every single day. I try and get in, and a couple of times a week I'll make sure I'm doing at least a 1 to 2 hour walk. Usually that's when we take the toddler for a walk in the buggy, and I try and make sure it's somewhere a bit scenic, nice and quiet. Another wee trick of mine as well is I do like to walk somewhere for maybe like a coffee or have my lunch somewhere as well. So I maybe walk like an hour somewhere, stop for a cuppa, and then a wee hour back home as well. Like I said, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy for me either. There was weeks where I didn't lose anything, weeks where I stayed the same, weeks where I lost. It is a very up and down journey. But the difference in it working this time round was I never quit. Because in the past, when I'd tried it before and wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to get, I would give up. And I was right back where I started, or had gained even more weight as well. This time I just never gave up, and this is going to sound so corny, but I saw it as a lifestyle change more than anything, because even now I've been maintaining for around a year. I'm not on a diet, I just eat the same all the time. Now I'm at maintenance calories, so that means I'm trying to stay the same weight now. I do get more calories to eat every day because I don't need to be in a deficit, but I do need to make sure that I'm not eating too much for my body as well. So I kind of hover, everybody's weight kind of like naturally fluctuates every day as well. So kind of give myself a nice wee buffer. You know, you go on holiday and you put a wee bit weight on and stuff as well, but you just get right back on it and lose it again. And as long as I hover between kind of like 4 or 5 pounds-ish, that's kind of where I feel like comfortable. Like I say, there's no denial around foods. I just let myself enjoy the kind of foods that I like to eat in moderation, and as long as it fits in my calories as well. Because I've done calorie counting for so long, my body, I kind of roughly know how much to eat every day. And actually I've now developed this kind of routine that I didn't strictly count my calories every single day. I go more on I eat when I'm hungry and I stop when I'm full. And I was always taught when I was younger to like finish the food on your plate, like you couldn't leave the dinner table until you'd ate all your dinner. Now I'm happy to leave a meal if I feel satisfied halfway through. I'm quite happy to leave the rest of it. I never ever deny myself. I hated that kind of like when you were dieting, that you always felt hungry all the time. If I'm hungry, I will eat something. I do try and make it conscious choices as well and be mindful. Like rather than going for, if I'm hungry, a Snickers bar is not going to help that, is it? I'll go for something a bit more substantial instead. Maybe I'll make myself some, let's say it's late at night, some toast or something, or I'll get myself like some protein or something before I reach for the chocolate. So that's my story, guys. That's how I lost 5.5 stone in the course of a year and a half. Nothing groundbreaking. Calorie counting and walking for exercise was the only thing I did. The walking, I feel like changed my body composition like drastically as well. I feel so much stronger, so much fitter now, and I'm 44 now as well. So I'm hoping this is finally the time when it sticks. I feel like I've ingrained these like new habits now as well. So I do share bits and bobs like over all my different platforms. If you're following me over there, I'll maybe pop the links in the description of this video there. Absolutely no dietitian, weight loss expert, anything like that. I'm literally just sharing bits of my journey, what worked for me. So definitely make sure you do all like your own research on things like that. Don't take what I'm saying just as gospel, but hopefully it kind of like helps and inspires other people who are maybe struggling on their journey as well, because I know what it feels like. I've been overweight for most of my life and I genuinely have never felt as good as what I feel now, and I think that's the biggest thing for me. Is it's never really about being smaller, it was always about how I felt more than anything. So hope that helps. Any questions you can just ask away in the comments.